Hey fellow fanatics, welcome to a special edition of the Fanatically Real broadcast. As today, this afternoon, 3 p.m. right now, we are going to be bringing you the Appalachian Black Bears draft selection show, and that's going to be happening in about 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, thank you for joining us again this afternoon for another draft selection show. This time we are going to be doing the Appalachian Black Bears region. At noon today, East Coast time, we got done doing the New England Phoenix region. Congratulations to Eric Talbot, the general manager of the Average Joes, for getting the number one pick over there. Whole draft went pretty smooth, actually. I think we were only live for like 35 minutes, and that included doing the intro for every single one of the teams and then going through and drafting. No snake eyes. Everybody fell right into a slot. Probably the smoothest draft we've done since we've adopted this process. So pretty cool. Dan says he's fired up. Let's go. You're actually, I think, going to be the first guy that we're going to mention as we kind of talk about the parade of teams here in just a second. So if you got a chance to watch any of our defunct Dynasty draft selection shows, you know we did a parade of the teams before we ended up doing the actual draft selection shows because we were given a history of whenever those teams were in existence when they actually played. I'm going to do something similar here for the redraft teams as well, except we're going to talk about the general managers a little bit since we don't really have a history to talk about with these teams per se like we had with the other ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about them in alphabetical order. But before we get there, check out all of our social media links that are across the bottom here. Website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Please go follow us over on YouTube. I know we've been picking up quite a few people lately. We would like to reach that magic number of 100 so we can get a custom YouTube channel and we can start doing some lives over on YouTube as well. So please go over and follow us, subscribe to us if you haven't done that yet. Kevin on with us as well. Kevin, what's going on, man? So hey, let's get to this draft selection part. So this is what the screen's going to look like for the Appalachian Black Bears. Looks very much like what we have done with many of our other ones, except we got it themed up a little bit for the Black Bears region with the purple there. We are going to go through a little bit of the parade of teams here. We're going to click the logos up right there in the corner by my face. We're going to talk about them. Then we're going to fold up the banner sheets that we have here for each one of the teams. Throw them in the hat, and then we're going to get started. So first off, we're going to talk about the Angry Vipers. Angry Vipers owned by Dan Wagner. He's coming to us as a member who has been playing with Damian Scott for quite a while. Damian was able to bring him over and a few other people that are in the region now. So Damian, appreciate you. Damian is playing in this region as well. So rookie Angry Vipers, welcome to the Alliance. The next one we got is the Sin City Kitties. This one is brought to us by Bill Minot III, which we're going to talk about a little bit. Sin City Kitties owned by Lauren Banshoff. She is originally from Cincinnati, which is why we've got the Sin City, Sin spelled C-I-N. Ended up being a really good logo that we worked on there as well. Hey, how are you? See ya, see ya. The next one we've got is the Evil Empire, and that is Kevin Godwin. He is on with us right now. Even though it feels like Kevin's been around with us forever because of all of the dynasty drafts and stuff like that, Kevin is, in fact, a rookie with us this year as well. In fact, 7 of the teams in this region are rookies with us this year. Kevin, welcome. Next one we got is awesomely named Fantasy Football Team. He is a Steelers fan. He wanted to take it kind of do a thing like the Washington Redskins are now as the Washington Football Club. How do you say it? Bands F. Okay, so I added an actual H in there and kind of didn't I? I apologize, Lauren. How are you? Welcome. MJ on with us as well. So we got Carl, and I have to make sure I say Carl's name right since Lauren's put me on a spot now. Alberico, I'm going to say is how we say that last name. Carl, if that's wrong, I apologize. Carl, also a rookie with us this year and brought over to us by Damian. Damian, thank you, and Carl, welcome. Next one we got is the Green Arrow and Ryan Bigelow. Ryan actually found us on Twitter and him and I conversed back and forth. We ended up bringing him on board. Has one of the coolest logos that I think that we have in this region. It was a lot of fun to put that one together as well.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
What are you talking about? I didn't even talk to you, phone. Phone just talking to me for no reason whatsoever. You made it more German than it needs to be. That's funny. I like that. Let's hope this draft goes smoothly as the last one. Yeah, the last one did go pretty smooth. If you're here watching this now and you did not watch the one earlier, make sure you go back and watch that and see how smooth one will go if this one doesn't, in fact, go smooth. So, Ryan, welcome. Rookie with us as well. Now, this one's a little funny. You're only going to see a word come up here. You're seeing Christy's husband as the name of the team, because we have not put together a team name for this, but John Ronquillo, who is the general manager for this team, was a sergeant major of both mine and Bill Minot III, who we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Really good friends of the Minot family. Bill called me up earlier today and said, hey, we know we don't have a team name for him yet. Let's have a little fun with him, and let's name his team for now Christy's husband. So that is the name for John Ronquillo for now. Also a rookie with us until we come up with something better. Speaking of Damian Scott, the mad scientist, there is his logo, and it feels like Damian's been around forever as well, but Damian is also a rookie with us this year, has done a lot of work with FSA. We really appreciate you, brother. Welcome. Bill Minot Jr., which is the dad of Bill III, Mayberry Union High. A little bit of a weird logo there. Very hard to come up with something from the Andy Griffith Show to come up for a logo. Bill Jr. played with us a couple years ago, took a couple years off, and is back with us. So not necessarily a rookie, but the first year back in a while. Bill Jr., welcome back. Appreciate you. His son, Bill III, with the Mermen, he has been with us for quite a few years. He's playing in the Dynasty Leagues with us, the QB54 Arm and Leg League this year as well. Bill was also a former company commander of mine when I was still stationed at Fort Hood, so happy to have him here. Bill also brought along with him last year Mike Dell, which is the Meyer Wolf, so we get Mike back again this year. I am bringing a member back that we have not had in the league with us for a while, Neil Brocious and the Ship Huggers. He said when we were putting the logo together last night, he wanted to have the most obnoxious colors that he could put together, and I think we accomplished that. He's been out of the league for a couple of years as well, and I think this might be his third or fourth different brand since he has been with us. So welcome back, Neil. Appreciate you. And one more team that was brought to us by Bill III. This one is Kevin Butler with the Nihilist. This will be his second year playing with us. Kevin, welcome back. Appreciate you. Nice having you again. All right. So that is the parade of teams. I'm going to do just like we did earlier. I know I'm wearing the hat now, but I have a second one sitting right here. This is the same one that we used earlier. This is our, we'll call it our shuffler. This is where all of the team names go in, and we will pull out a team, and then we will roll a 12-sided die that you see there on the right-hand side of those two screens in the middle. That 12-sided die will tell us where we're going to put that first team on the board. After that first team is on the board, then we are going to roll what we call the action dice, which are the two 6-sided dice that are on the left-hand side. Those action dice correspond to numbers that are right there underneath my head. And that, whatever the total is of those two dice, is what we're going to do down there. Read through those. If you have any questions about what that might look like, you're going to see it here very shortly anyways, but just so you can know ahead of time in case something doesn't make any sense to you. You can see on the number 2, the snake eyes, there are two things that are on there, start over and lock team. So back when we were doing the Alpha Dynasty draft earlier this year, we had multiple snake eyes come up. Whenever it says start over, that means everybody comes off the board except for the teams that have been locked by number 11 that you see there. And after it happening multiple times, one of the suggestions from Brian Lewis from the Great Lakes region was, hey, why don't you just, after you get one set of snake eyes, change that to a locked team just like it is for number 11. Thought it was a great idea. Saves us a lot of time. So that's why you see that. So if we do, in fact, get snake eyes, everybody will come off the board one time. And then if we get it again, it will lock one of those teams. And no matter what happens to the rest of the board, a locked team is there to stay, and you'll know that you are drafting from that position no matter when that happens in the selection show. So let's shake these up a little bit. Get a little shake there. Now we're going to give them a real big shake. I do see snake eyes in my nightmares, especially after that the Delta Dynasty draft. If y'all haven't seen that show, make sure you go out and watch that. It's out there on YouTube. Killeen, Texas, nice place. Dan, I don't know what part of Killeen you were in that you thought was a nice place, but it is not. First one out the hat is Damian Scott with the Mad Scientist. Damian, we're going to put you up on the board first. Let's see where you are going. You are going in the number 3 spot. Let me find you here where you are, Mad Scientist. There you are. Unlock you. And we're going to move you into the number 3 spot. And then we are going to roll some action dice and see what we do with this board in our early stages. Number 8. So we are going to roll a D12 until a spot is filled. But before we do that, we have to pull a name out of the hat. Toby on with us as well. Toby, what's up? That's cool, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you showed back up for this one as well. All right, out of the hat is Fantasy Football Team and Carl. Fantasy Football Team. Let's see where we're going to put you. I'm going to put you in the number 4 spot. Let's turn you on, unlock you, and move you right next to Damien in that number 4 spot. And let's roll some action dice. Number 9, swap positions with 2d12. So here's what happens with this one. We add a second 12-sided dice. We roll. If it's early in the board, if we roll a 3 or a 4 and it has another number next to it, one of those two teams will be moving. If we happen to roll a 3 and a 4, the two teams that are currently on the board will swap. If we do not roll a 3 or a 4, we will roll action dice again and we'll just keep on moving forward. So we roll a 3 and an 11. That means, Damien, you are moving from the number 3 spot to the number 11 spot. And we're going to roll some action dice. Number 10. We're going to roll a D12 and replace the team if the position is filled. And this particular one, name we pull out of here, if we end up rolling a 4 or an 11, then the team that comes out of here will replace that team, and that team will actually go back in the hat. So let's see. Let me get us back to a 112-sided dice. Let's see who we are going to try to put on the board, or we are going to put on the board. Kevin with the Evil Empire. Kevin, let's see where you are going to go. Number 10. Let's put Kevin Godwin on the board. All right, there you are for the moment. Let's see what everybody's saying out there. Carl knows his place, always trying to play catch up with me. Damien says Damien's already on the move. Yep. Let's see. We just end up putting Kevin on the board, so let's roll some action dice and see what we get. We get the number 3. So we're going to pull a team from the board. We only pull a team from the board, though, if we roll a 4, 10, or an 11. If not, we're going to roll action dice again. Number 11. Damien, we just ended up moving you, and now we're pulling you from the board and sticking you back in the hat. You are going to be moved quite a bit, I think, in this one. So let's get you moved back over into the on-deck circle and then close you off for right now. Let's roll some action dice. Number 6, swap teams' positions with 2d12. So we're going to roll 2 12-sided dice. If we get a 3, or I'm sorry, if we get a 4 or a 10, we will be moving some people around. We do not, so we're back on the action dice again. Number 7, roll a d12 until a position is filled. Let's shake these up. I'm starting to get a little bundled up in here, so let me shake them apart a little bit. All right, let's see who we got coming out next. Ship Huggers and Neil Brocious. Neil, let's see where we're going to put you on the board. We're going to roll a d12 until a spot is filled. We need 112 for that. We're going to put you in the number 5 spot, Ship Huggers. Make sure I pronounce that right as I'm saying it. Ship Huggers. Why is the Ship Huggers not moving? There we go. Really need to enunciate Ship Huggers. All right, let's roll some action dice. 9. Swap teams positions with 2d12. We're only going to swap them if we roll a 4, 5, or 10 in this roll. See what we get. We get a 9 and a 5, so we just put the ship huggers on the board, and they are now moving to the number 9 spot. What is going on right now? Why do you not want to move, dice and mouse? All right, ship huggers are now in the number 9 spot. Roll some action dice. Number 8, roll a d12 until a spot opens up. We got to pull a name out of the hat first before we can do that. Yeah, you know what? After I sent it to him, Damien said, I'm glad you guys went with the ship in that logo. So when we thought we had Neil coming back last year for the 2019 season, we'd actually put together the logos that I had showed you guys earlier in the week. And when I finally got back in contact with him and I told him that you guys had been looking at other logos for him and that something with a ship in it might be good, then we kind of went with that mind thought whenever we started looking for that yesterday. So right now we are going to be rolling a d12 until a position is open up for Dan Wagner in the Angry Vipers. Let's get us back to 112-sided die and let's roll. Number 6 is currently open. Angry Vipers, you are going into the number 6 spot. All right. Let's get some action dice going. Number 8, same thing we just did. D12 until a spot is open, but we got to pull a team name out of here first. We had so much time left over after the last one that we ended up doing that I started doing all of my chores that I normally do on Sundays, like laundry, all that other stuff. The other thing I need to do is I haven't shaved my head in 3 weeks. This could be the longest my hair's been in a couple of years. So we get done with this one, I might actually go in and shave my head a day early as well. Who we put on the board? We are putting Bill Jr. from Mayberry Union High on the board. We got to figure out where he's going to go. We're going to roll the D12 until we get an open spot. Number 7 is currently open, so we are putting Mayberry Union High in the number 7 spot. All right, let's roll some action dice. You asking Dan how he likes that spot. Don't get comfortable. Number 7. D12 until a position is filled. We got to shake it up a little bit more and get another team out. I like that. What do you mean? You're trying to do a Dungeons and Dragons type thing in my classroom. Tell me a little bit more about that, Carl. What do you mean? Let's see who we're pulling out. Damien, you're back out of the hat again. Mad Scientist. We're going to be rolling until we have an open spot for you. Let's see what spot you're going to go into. Number 4 is currently filled by Fantasy Football Team. Number 2, Mad Scientist, going up to the number 2 spot. How you feel about that if you stay there? Let's roll some action dice. Number 8. I don't want to jinx myself and say this one's going just about as smooth as the last one did. A little bit of changes here, especially with us having to pull Damien off the board and stuff like that. But aside from that, oh, there's 2 of them in there. We pull the one that's on the outside. Mike Dell, Meyer Wolf. We're going to roll until a spot is open. Let's see what spot we're going to put you in. Number 4 is currently filled. The number 9 position is currently filled. Number 10 currently filled. Number 2 currently filled. Number 7 currently filled. Number 6 currently filled. Number 11 is open. We're going to end up putting the Meyer Wolf in the number 11 spot. And we're going to roll some action dice. Let's see what you say there, Carl. Instead of just doing PowerPoints, I will tell a story in the class. I was going to have the students make characters, but I'm going to use Classcraft to clarify. I am a 7th grade science teacher, trying to make it more interesting and fun for students. I like that, man. That's really awesome. That's good. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Number 3, we're going to pull a team from the board. We got a pretty full board up there right now. Let's see what team might possibly come off the board. It's going to be the number 4 team. So Fantasy Football Team is getting pulled from the board. We're going to move them back over into the on-deck circle. Let me go through here and make sure that we have Carl's slip of paper to be able to put back into the hat. It is back in there. And we're going to hide him as well. And we're going to go back to the action dice. Oh, I almost thought that was Snake Eyes for a second there. Number 6, swap teams positions with 2d12. Let's put a second 12-sided dice up there and roll. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Are you going to be in for your guys' draft selection show tomorrow? Let me know if you're going to be around for that one. 12. Flip the whole board. All right, so here's what happens with this one. Oh, wait a minute. That was swapping 2 6s, wasn't it? Because we just got done swapping 2D's positions. So nothing happens. I was looking at that as 12 as if it was 2 6s on the other one. My bad. Let's just throw some action dice. What is the big thing with Snake Eyes, Carl says? So if we roll Snake Eyes, if there's nobody locked on the board, Carl, everybody comes off the board and we start all over. Like whatever we did up to that point didn't even happen. Action dice, number 6. We're going to swap positions. We still got the 2 12-sided dice up there. We're going to swap the 4 and the 6. So Angry Vipers, you remove them from the 6th position up to the 4th position. And we're going to roll some action dice. 6, swap positions again. This time it's going to be the 8 and the 11. Meyer Wolf are going to move up to 8 because there's nobody in the 8 spot right now. That's my favorite roll, I think, is the swapping of positions. We might have to add more to the board for that next year. Action dice. 4 is going to... Okay, so we haven't had this happen yet today. So we're going to move everybody up 1 position if we roll an odd number on a single 12-sided dice, or we're going to move everybody down 1 position. When you're thinking about this, you have to think about it linear, like 1 through 12 that are stacked. When I say we're going to move down a position whenever it is an even number, 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4, and that board wraps. 12 becomes 1. If we move up 1 position, 2 becomes 1, 1 becomes 12, 12 becomes 11. So we have to see what that's going to look like based on 1 12-sided die. If it's odd or even, it is an even number. That means everybody is moving down 1 spot. 10 becomes 11, 9 becomes 10, 8 becomes 9, 7 becomes 8, 4 becomes 5, and 2 becomes 3. Action dice. 6, we're going to swap positions with a 2d12, so let's get a second 12 in there. We are swapping 4 and 3. So, Damien, you're going to slide down even further as you go into the number 4 spot now. Action dice. 7, we're going to roll a d12 until a spot is filled. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. So half the spots are still open. Half the teams are still in the hat. We're going to roll a d12 until we fill in for Kevin Butler with the Nihilist. Let's get ourselves back to a single 12 and see where he's going to go. He is going to go in the number 2 spot. Let's get him turned on and move him over to number 2. And just so you all know who haven't seen this before, since Carl was asking questions, once we fill the board and all of the positions are filled, we still roll 1 more set of action dice. If you get a chance to watch the Delta Dynasty draft selection show, we had the board full. We had not had any Snake Eyes up to that point. On the very last roll, rolled Snake Eyes. We had already been like 40-some minutes into that show and had to pull everybody off. So if you get a chance, go watch the Delta Dynasty draft selection show. Fast forward to about the 45-minute mark. And some pretty good stuff there. All right, number 8, D12 until a spot is open. We should have 5 names left in the hat. Who are we putting on the board next? We have Bill Minot III with the Merman. See how many rolls it takes to get you on the board. Number 7 is open currently after that last move. Bill, we're going to put you on the board at number 7 right in front of your dad. Let's roll some action dice. 6 is going to be 2d12s for swapping of positions. We are going to be swapping number 1 and number 5. Dan Wagner, I know we just kind of kidded about it a little bit ago, but you are now moving up into the number 1 spot. How you feel about that? Yeah, I don't know how many rolls we got on the last one, and I don't know if this thing resets. I never left the site in between shows. Damien is saying there's a 1 in 36 odds getting close to them probably for the Snake Eyes. I don't know how many rolls we did on the last show, but yeah, I did not shut the webpage down and pull it back up. So if it's doing any kind of random number generator algorithm, I'm sure it's coming up sometime soon. All right, let's roll some action dice. 6, we're going to be swapping with 2d12s again. Chris, what's going on, brother? We are moving number 1 and number 2 are swapping. So the Nihilists are now going up into the number 1. Angry Vipers are going down to the number 2 spot. And we are rolling the action dice. 11. All right, this is our first lock of the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll one 12-sided die. If we roll a 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, or an 11, that team will be locked. And no matter what happens the rest of the show, that team is drafting from that spot. So let's see what happens. Number 9. So that means Meyer Wolf are drafting from that spot. They are not going anywhere. Number 9, Meyer Wolf. I want to make sure that I've got that off to the side so I don't forget as we're moving things around on the board. Mike Dell, you will be drafting from the number 9 spots. And let's throw some action dice. Bill the Third, what's going on? Number 10, we're going to roll a d12 and replace the team if the position is filled. So we have to pull a name out of the hat. We have 4 spots that are left open. We're going to pull a team out. Whatever we have right here, when we roll the 12-sided die, if it's an empty spot, they go right into that spot. If it's a spot that is filled, other than the number 9 spot, they will go into that spot instead, and the team that's holding that spot will come off the board and go back into the hat. And it is John Ronquillo with Christy's husband. And we're going to be rolling, and he will be going into the number 1 spot. So, all jokes aside, Christy's husband is now going into the number 1 spot. The Nihilists are coming off the board. You'll be going back into the hat. Let's get Christy's husband into the right spot here. Oops, did not mean to put that in here. I got to get the Nihilists put back in the hat. The Nihilists are going back in the hat. And as we put him in there, we are going to be rolling the action dice. How quickly the number 1 spot goes away from people. 8. 8 is going to be rolling a d12 until a spot is open. We have 4 spots available. 4 names left in the hat. Sin City Kitties, Lauren, without the German accent, is ready to go on the board. You're going to go, we'll continue to roll until we find a spot for you, whether it's 3, 5, 6, or 12. Not the 2. Not the 4. 5. Sin City Kitties are going up to number 5. Hey, let's roll some action dice. Number 4. Everybody is going to move up or down 1 position based on odd or even. We're going to roll the 12-sided dice. The only person that does not move is number 9. So we're rolling a 4. That means everybody moves down a spot. So this is what it's going to look like. 11 goes to 12. 10 goes to 11. 8 then skips over 9 and goes to 10. 7 goes to 8. 5 goes to 6. 4 goes to 5. 2 goes to 3. And Christy's husband goes from 2 to number 1, or from 1 to number 2, and the number 1 spot is now open again. Action dice. You've got a beverage here? Good. I'm still working on my second monster of the day. But I did realize earlier today that I left probably more in my cup last night than I thought I did. And ice melted, and it kind of cut the liquor a little bit more. And so I've been slowly sipping both of them. A great Father's Day gift from my wife. It says, "Thank you for not hitting and quitting it." It's my new favorite glass. Let's roll some action dice. 8, we're going to roll a d12 until a position is open. We've got the 1, 4, and 7 left. We've got 3 names still left in the hat. Green Arrow, Ryan Bigelow. See, we've got to roll a 1, 4, or 7. This could take a little bit. Be patient. There it is, number 4. Green Arrow is going on the board in the number 4 spot. You like the cup? I'm glad you all like the cup. Thought it was pretty good too. Let's roll some action dice. 12. We are flipping the whole board. Now here's the thing, the number 9 spot does not move. All right, but here's what that means when we say we're flipping the whole board. 12 becomes 1, 2 becomes 11. Everybody shifts a spot, like if we were taking the board and flipping it like this, and that's exactly where everybody goes. So number 12 becomes 1. 2 becomes 11. 10 becomes 3. 9 and 4 do not swap. 8 and 5 change. And 6 and 7 change. And the whole board just changed. Evil Empire now in the number 1 spot. Let's throw some action dice. Six. Hey, tell me, did I do that right? I thought we had somebody in the number 1 spot. Did Christy's husband end up leaving the number 1 spot? And we moved Evil Empire up into that spot? I feel like I just did something wrong. Everybody let me know that I just did that right. Number 6 would be swap teams with 2d12. But before I move forward, make sure I did that right. Is all good? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Make sure we did that right. You're right. Okay. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. I kept thinking there was somebody sitting in the number 1 spot before we did that. Ah, is that what I did? I moved everybody down 1 spot. Okay. Thanks, Toby. Appreciate you, man. All right. We're about to swap 2 teams. We're going to be moving the 5 and the 10. That means, Bill, you are moving down to the 10. Dan, you are moving up to the 5. We still have 2 spots open, which are the 6 and the 12. Let's roll some action dice. Number 8. This could take a while for us to do this. We've got 2 teams left in the hat. We've got 2 spots left open. We're going to have to roll a 6 or a 12 to get whoever is on the board, which we are pulling Kevin Butler back out of the hat. We're going to have to roll for the nihilist to be able to get them either in the 6 or in the 12 position. That's the 2. Also 2. 5. Ooh, almost 12. 2 again. 7. This could take a while. 3. 3. There we go. 6. All right, Kevin, we are putting you in the 6th spot. Let's get you back on the board. So if we end up having another one of those rolls that says roll a d12 until a position is open, we already know we got 1 team left in the hat, 1 spot on the board. We will put that person in the board. Let's see what happens with our action dice. 10 means d12 replaced if team position is already filled. So we are going to end up pulling the last team out, which is Carl again with Fantasy Football Team. Unless we roll a 12, whatever we do roll, Carl's going to go in the spot on that board, and the team that is on there is coming off unless we roll a 9 because Meyer Wolf are still locked. Number 4. So Fantasy Football Team is going into the number 4 spot. Ryan Bigelow is now coming off the board and is now the remaining team that is in there. And let's get the green arrow shut off. We will throw you back in the hat, Ryan, just in case there ends up being another team that joins you. That way we're doing this the way it should be done, and we're going to roll some action dice. The dude. Yeah, you're right. The dude. Don't say it. Don't say it, Damien. 9. Swap teams with 2d12. So we're going to add a second 12-sided dice. The only teams that would not be moving would be the Meyer Wolf. And we are rolling a 12 and a 5. There's nobody in the 12 spot. Angry Vipers are moving down into that spot. The number 5 spot is now open, and we're back to the action dice. Number 5, D12 until a position is opened up. That means the last team that we have in there, of course, is the Green Arrow. Green Arrow is going to go into the number 5 spot, and then we have one more roll. Here we go. Number 9, we are going to swap 2 teams with the D12. The only team we won't swap will be the number 9. Some of you are probably pretty comfortable with where you're at right now. We are moving the number 6 and the number 10. The dude is swapping with the Merman. And this is the draft order for your all's draft, which will happen at 2 o'clock next Saturday. It's 2 o'clock East Coast time. Next Saturday, as you all draft live on my fantasy league. You can start mock drafting now from these positions. Kevin Godwin, congratulations on getting the number 1 spot. We will be taking a screenshot of this and releasing it out onto social media. And now that this is set and I have the time to be able to do it, I'm going to go out there and set the draft order for you all. And you should see it over on MFL shortly. I'll send you a text in GroupMe and let you know that it's been set. We will be back at 6 o'clock for the Great Lakes Region Draft Selection Show. If you all want to come back. Screenshot posted. Chris, thank you very much. I just saw MJ did the same thing. But thank you to both of you. Another smooth show. At least we had a little bit more action in that show. But still no snake eyes today. Good thing. Great Lakes, the oldest region that has been in Fantasy Sports Alliance. Some of the longest serving members also in that one. Should be a lot of fun with them up and coming. Or upcoming here in a couple of hours. I'm sure the snake eyes probably will not elude us for another one. But we will be back at 6 o'clock East Coast time for that one. Make sure you follow us on all the social media. After we get done posting this onto Facebook, I beg of you, please, go out and share it with friends and family and see if we can get some views on this thing. And then we will be back in about 2.5 hours for the next selection show. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. And Carl says, thanks for this. Really cool way to do the draft. Carl, where you end up at? You ended up in number 4. Not a bad spot to be. So, I'm glad you all enjoyed that. And we'll see you here in about 2.5 hours if you want to come back and watch the shenanigans of the next one. We'll see you then.